South Africa. Welcome to Afternoon Express. A happy Valentine's Day to you.
Indeed.
I think I'm quite appropriately dressed for the occasion.
Totally. I kind of gone with the... I don't have a Valentine's. I'm going to wear red because I don't want to be like too cliche, you know. So I've kind of gone with the shade of the red, you know.
No, I like it. I like it.
I'm sure you guys must have missed us from yesterday as well. So it's good to be back on air today. And it's so funny that today falls on the same day as our Catholic friends are celebrating Lent at the moment. So today with Ash Wednesday and Valentine's Day. See that? Lent and Valentines?
Oh, it's a stretch. It's a reach.
Okay. Well, today we bring you one of the hottest musical stars from West Africa. All the way from Nigeria, singer-songwriter Niniola Apata is here and she'll be treating us to an exclusive Valentine's performance later on, so stay tuned for that.
In celebration of the Day of Love, we're doing things a little bit differently. We're joined by Woon-Zuzu, a writer with a story of unconventional love. She's bringing out a new book soon called A Tide of Conspiracy Theories, which tells her story of being the girlfriend to a reformed gangster.
Now that's a story to be told. Then we turn our attention to a heartwarming story of unconditional love as well. Charmaine K started a blog called Raising Leah, which is her account of raising a daughter born with, now I'm going to get this pronunciation wrong.
Achondroplasia.
Much better, thank you very much. Or dwarfism, as it is most commonly called.
Absolutely. So make sure you head over to our social media platforms where we're asking, how are you celebrating Valentine's Day? Are you celebrating it or not? Share your thoughts with us on Twitter at Afternoon Chat or using the hashtag Afternoon Express or comment on our Facebook page. Now, we haven't forgotten about the food. Celebrating love in the kitchen. We share an exotic mussel and coconut broth. That's the perfect way to spoil your significant other this evening.
That sounds so good. So first up today, award-winning Nigerian singer-songwriter Niniola is currently on tour in South Africa for the very first time. The Queen of Afro House started her career on Project Fame West Nigeria and is probably best known to South Africans for her hit single last year called Maradona.
She football on the air, don't grab all the kid. She telescope the air, don't go on my kid. Don't you ever fall, don't blame me, don't it. Go power did I let you come to me with him. Oh, Nikin Laka. Oni malaka, oni kendo yumi, olo malapa, oni kenlaka, oni malaka, oni kendo yumi, olo makampa, oh Maradona, oh Maradona, Maradona me, oh Maradona, oh Maradona, Maradona me.
She's in the love with us today. Welcome to Afternoon Express.
Hi, how you doing?
Oh, so good.
What a catchy tune. It's certainly got Africa dancing this December. And did you expect that it would do so well?
I didn't envision it.
Yeah?
We knew, my team and I knew it was a good song when we recorded the song, but we didn't know the song was going to go this far, and I'm, very grateful.
I'm sure, and South Africans obviously are loving it, so hence the tour here.
No, that's what brought me down here, because I've never been to South Africa.
Oh, my word. So tell me about that process. I mean, were people tweeting you? Was it the sense that you were like, wow, there's an audience here?
Oh, okay, so I dropped the song Maradona in March 2017. And the instant I dropped it in Nigeria, it was a hit song. People were loving it, and I was like, thank God. You know how? Oh, thank God, I've nailed it this year again.
Yeah.
And then I went on to the second song, Sika, because I was gearing up for my debut album, This Is Me, and I was pushing Sika, the second song, and then from nowhere, I was getting videos of people dancing in the streets, in their homes, in the bathrooms, dancing, singing Maradona, and I'm like, I moved on from this song. I tried to ignore it, but then, the messages and videos kept flooding in, and I'm like, but still my song,
Yeah.
And then the love has been crazy, man. There's love in South Africa.
Yeah. What is Maradona about?
Okay, so I'm sure you're familiar with Maradona, the legend.
Yeah.
And he was known for his dribbling skills. So the song is about a cheat, a terrible cheat. So I likened his, character
to that of, the legends' dribbling skills.
Wow.
Speaking of legends, truth be told, you were called the human radio as a youngster.
Oh, yes. Yes.
So that must have been where your love for music began.
Oh, yes. In high school, I had sort of like my own lunch request show, where my friends would come to me and request that, I sing a song or two for them. So, yeah, that was, fun.
So that was your thrashing floor as well. You were
Yes.
at school, but you were also preparing for this.
Oh, yes,
incredible
unknown to me.
career.
Even when I became aware of myself as a child, I started listening to my parents' records, like country music, African music,
Yeah.
R&B, and the rest of them. Unknown to me, I was mimicking what I was hearing, but unknown to me, I was training my voice. Yes.
Yeah. So apparently Amanda Faku and DJ Turno decided to do a remake of the song because people didn't understand the lyrics.
Oh, okay.
So how did that make you feel?
When people do covers, of a song, it means that, people love the song, and it's flattering.
Yeah.
Well, it might mean that they like the beat, but whether they understood the lyrics or understood what you were trying to intend by the particular song is a different story. Because, music's not only about making people dance, I guess it's also about it's art for you.
Yes, of course it is.
So does it feel like somebody's taking your art and throwing their paint on it?
No, it depends on how you go about it. If you go about it, the civil way, that's okay. But when you want to make money off it, that's when there's a problem.
Absolutely.
That's copyright,
Yeah, copyright infringement.
Yes. Because every singer starts out, singing someone else's song.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. So what does your tour here entail? What can audiences look forward to?
Okay, so I've spent about 7-8 days already, and I'll be out, by next weekend. I got into the country on last week Monday, and I've been going from, one media house to the other. I've been performing as well. Over the weekend, I performed at Taboo, Vanity, and also Big Brother. And I'll be back next month because I have some gigs. Yeah.
Nice.
Yes.
Yeah.
With new music as well. We can
definitely.
wait for all of that.
Okay, so now I'm promoting my album, This Is Me, and I'm dropping videos off the album. In January, I dropped Saru. It's one of the tracks of the album. I dropped the video. For Valentine's Day, I dropped Oyi. It's an R&B track, and even though I'm promoting the album, collaborations will surely, very interesting collaborations will surely drop this year.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So I think there's an interesting journey that artists go through in their careers. There's that first bit of that hustle, really just trying to get your songs into the right kinds of hands. The songs then start to get played and traction starts to build, and then you're trying to build a bigger name for yourself by, applying for awards and all that kind of stuff. You now have a number of them behind you, a number of nominations, a number of awards behind you. The next phase now is that expansion you're talking
yes,
about.
definitely.
So are there particular awards? Because awards generally are just about career building for most artists. Are there particular awards to you that meant something to you?
For me, when an award body recognizes an artist's work, it's something. Sometimes it's fair, sometimes it's not. But it doesn't mean you shouldn't keep on, moving. For me, when I get nominated, I feel very happy. At least someone is noticing that. So for me, it's not really about the award per se, but about, making myself a better person.
Yeah. What are some of your musical influences? Like when you hear your voice and when you envision what it is that you want people to hear, what quality in other musicians do you admire most that you want to come through in your own music?
Okay, so because growing up, I listened to different genres of music. Because for me, it's not even about categorizing music, but about good music, you know? So I always pick, the good qualities. If I listen to a song now, because some hit songs are born out of the beat. Some out of the message, some the delivery, some encompasses all of that. So I've just picked a little of this and that and just put it in me. All I want people to, the feeling I want people to get is when they listen to me is that of originality, and I need to be able to communicate with people when I, sing, even if you don't understand my language.
Because human beings are so complex, social music. I mean, there's different elements to a person's life, like your R&B sound, your Afro soul, your house tunes. There's like so much to you, like there's so much to a person, and that communicates. So what are you going to perform on the show today, later?
Straight football on the air.
Oh, yeah. It's going to be awesome.
We absolutely love your voice, and we hope you'll be collaborating with some South African artists.
I have already.
Yeah?
Yes, I have.
Okay, cool. We'll ask you about that a little later,
Okay.
definitely. So coming up after the break, stick with us because Niniola will be performing live at the end of the show. And after the break, author Woon-Zuzu shares her story of a life as the girlfriend to a reformed gangster. Don't go away.
Happy Valentine's Day and welcome back to Afternoon Express. We're live on SABC3 and thanks for all the interaction on our social media sites. Loving reading your comments on Twitter and Facebook. Remember that hashtag Afternoon Express. We're about to meet our next guest on the show who's absolutely phenomenal. She's got an unconventional love story to share with us of her love story with a reformed gangster. So stay tuned for that. But for now, the Afternoon Express together with my school are helping Choc raise funds for a newly refurbished home as we've been mentioning over the last few weeks. It is a home away from home for families affected by pediatric cancer. And our goal is to raise R1.5 million and we'd love for you to help us reach that dream. We really do need you as part of this. If you haven't already joined the My School, My Village, My Planet, then please download the free My School app right now. You then select Choc as your beneficiary and simply scan your card at the till points to give back to Choc every time that you shop. Once you have this, you stand the chance of winning one of two R1,500 loot.co.za vouchers. Now remember, you can only qualify to win if you have chosen Choc, the Childhood Cancer Foundation of South Africa, as your beneficiary. Every person makes a difference. T's and C's are available on afternoonexpress.co.za.
Childhood cancer is the second most common cause of death amongst children in South Africa. 1 in every 500 children in South Africa are diagnosed with childhood cancer.
My daughter was diagnosed. She's got myopithelial carcinoma of the soft tissue, which is in the tummy. It's very sad to find out that your child has cancer because I never thought that it would happen to me.
Choc is very helpful because children must be treated here the whole week. So for you to travel every day, going home, coming back, so Choc is helpful there because you can come stay at Choc. They cook for the children, healthy food, and then they also provide with transport for people who struggle.
Choc is one of South Africa's leading organizations who aid families who are affected by childhood cancer. Afternoon Express, together with My School, are committed to helping Choc raise funds for a newly refurbished home away from home. You can get involved by signing up for your free virtual My School, My Village, My Planet card today. Download the My School app, select Choc as one of your beneficiaries, and you will automatically be entered into a weekly loot.co.za competition.
Choc is a big support. We made family here at Choc, and I don't think I would know what I would have done if it wasn't for them.
Our next guest, Woon-Zuzu, is a storyteller and author. She joins us this afternoon to share the tale of her newest book, A Tide of Conspiracy Theories, which talks of how she fell in love with a reformed gangster and in so doing set off on a journey to self-discovery.
On Valentine's Day, such an unconventional love story.
Yes.
Yeah.
Hi,
so,
guys.
welcome.
Fact,
Lovely to have you with us.
Thank you. Before I actually go into my interview with you guys, can I just be present to something? Thank you, universe. Yes, this is a year of saying yes for me, actually.
Oh, awesome.
Yes, so this was in my vision board, so today it's happening.
Yes! Yes!
I think we should high five.
Yes,
That's awesome.
definitely.
So we all love stories.
Sure.
We all love stories, rather.
Yeah.
But this one is one with a twist, and
Yes.
it's about a story of freedom, about justice, about loyalty, about so much.
Commitment and solidarity and all of that.
Yeah.
So A Tide of Conspiracy Theories is a story about my life as a reformed and incarcerated gangster's girlfriend. It encompasses my journey to self-discovery and how I finally met with the one man who managed to sweep me off my feet. It later then highlights how the justice system failed him as a citizen when 2 state officials sabotaged him for a crime he did not commit by falsifying evidence produced in court.
Yeah. Sure.
So it later goes into explaining how our friends and family opposed the relationship, while some of them actually jeopardizing his chances of his release. Yeah. So yes, it's a love story, but nothing about it is romantic.
Totally.
And it's a story based in Mbekweni, Paul.
Yeah.
It's your story. I think
it is
we
my
make
story.
this very clear for our viewers
it
that
is
it's not a fictional story that you made up to write about, to create this controversy. This is a very real story.
Yes, it is.
So tell it to us for a second. Where did you meet this man? What was his story when you met him? And how did this whole relationship unfold from there?
We met in Paul, in Mbekweni, at a place called Chipper's Place. I think because it was so easy on the eye, it's your typical love at first sight story, right? So at first glance, I knew him to be the father of my kids, the future.
You guys were married already,
We were married already. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like in my head.
Yeah.
That's the thing. I think that's the twist in it because everything happened in my head. So I lived a lie, and that lie turned out, because at first glance, I knew that we would share a bond, we would share a story, not knowing that it would later unfold into this story today, you know?
Yeah.
So...
What did you think he was when you met him? Did you know that he was a gangster at that point?
No, that's the thing. I always thought he was a student because he was very well spoken. The manner in which he carried himself was profound. So I thought he was like your typical elite of the elitists.
Cheese boy.
Yeah.
Cheese boy, yes. I often called him that, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, he's a cheese boy. And then later when his cousin, who happened to be my best friend at the time, told me about his dealings, I was like, whoa, okay.
Right.
But because I'd fallen so head over heels with him, I was willing to look past that. And I think as I sit here, I speak from a place of power. So their Nanziwe is completely different from the Nanziwe seated before you today.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because that experience, I think because I was so underdeveloped and because I was self-hating on myself a lot, it was easy for me to get myself into that sticky situation because there was a void inside that I thought he would fill. So after what had happened between us, because I understand that because of the love that I shared with him, it gained him his freedom, but because of the breakup, it enabled me to go on a self-discovery journey and later discover my own self-love.
Yeah, so there's quite a twist on your journey to the love because you loved him for a long time before he responded, or was reciprocated, but he only reciprocated when he was in prison.
Exactly.
And at that point, was there no recognition from you that why is he only responding when he's in prison, or did you note that and just kind of gloss over it?
Bonnie, to be honest, I noted that and I was like, it's okay, you know, he's giving me the attention that I've been so yearning for over a year and a half now, or close to 2 years. And there were alarm bells that constantly went off, you know.
Tell us some of them.
So the first alarm bell was that I needed to understand that he had a history. He was dating someone. He really, it was difficult for him to actually say, Nanziwe, I love you. You know, like every time I would say that, I would expect the same response, but he would be like, thank you. And that, you know, like certain alarm bells were going off. And then obviously, because of my story, I went into a foreign territory in Begweni where some of the people hated me for loving him, you know? Like there were people that I did not even know who hated me for no apparent reason. So that was one of the alarm bells that went off again, because when I often told him and was hoping that he would stand up for our love, he really never did. So I just, you know, like I was like, okay, let me pass this over, because I think the goal for me was to make sure that I get him out of prison, was to make sure that I prove his innocence, because in so doing, I think at the back of my mind, I knew that at some point...
You were the one stuck through.
Exactly.
So listen, all this gets unpacked on the blog, and I don't want to, out of like fear of sharing too much of the story, because it's going to be shared in the book as well. You know, you got your blog, and that's now turning itself into a book. How's that going to work out?
So what happened is I tested the waters last year with my online community. I need to make mention to the fact that I've got an amazing online community of friends on Facebook and people who support me from Begweni. They're showing me the love. It's amazing. So I started the blog just to test the water. So I released the first 23 chapters of the book. They loved it. And then what I negotiated with my publisher was that let's do a pre-book sale to test whether or not people are ready for the story. And to be very honest, as I sit here today, like I'm constantly collecting in purchases from people who believe in me with their money and with...
because I'm on the edge of my seat about the story. So
I'm on the edge of my seat as well, especially because it being Valentine's Day, I think one of the loves that we are quick to kind of diminish and set aside is the self-love.
Yes.
And so I'm really keen to hear about your journey to self-love and kind of discovering the tenets of what self-love actually...
just to touch on that, just to quickly touch on that, Bonnie, like as a reader, because I'm a bookworm, so people like Ian Lavanzard, Lisa Nichols, they were my friends because I call them my friends because every time I would read a paragraph on either of their book, which is No Matter What, or In the Meantime, you know, like every time I related to a paragraph, I would stop and I would share my own story to Lisa, whether or not she's aware of it or whether or not she can hear me, because I feel we were connected in spirit, we were connected in what you call it, in the law of attraction, if you may put it like that. So I would share my own story and relate to that chapter, and then I would move on. And obviously, because I'm on a journey to healing as I speak. So I do a lot of affirmations. Good. I do a lot of gratitude work. I do a lot of laughing. I do a lot of smiling.
I must pause there because if you're going to give away too much, people are not going to read the book. And I want people to read the book because it's so fascinating. It's got an incredible story. Go find the blog online, all the links on our social media platforms, and go get the book. This is a story that really does need to be told. Coming up after the break, we share an inspiring story of unconditional love between a mother and daughter. We'll be right back after this. Welcome back to Afternoon Express. We're live on SABC3. And later on, we'll be telling a beautiful story of young Leah and her mother, Charmaine. And we cannot wait to share that with you. However, we're joined now by Dr. Karen, who is a medical geneticist, to get a better understanding of how this particular condition works and develops, and also to debunk some of the misconceptions. Welcome to the Loft.
Thank you very much.
So we're about to learn on our show about a beautiful story of a mother and a daughter and how the whole journey unfolds. Dwarfism is the term that I think we all understood and know, but there's a lot more technical stuff going on behind dwarfism. Would you just unpack a bit about what that means?
Sure. Dwarfism is really an umbrella term. It's not an absolute specific term, and it's used, generally speaking, for people that are particularly small or particularly short.
Okay.
Some people use it more specifically for those who've got slight disproportion of their body proportions, okay, maybe short in the limbs, a little short in the back. But it really refers to people, not just those who are going to be in the front row of the class photograph, but shorter than that. There are many different causes. The most common really relates to an unusual building of the bones, which is genetic in its origin. So it's related to the body's messages and the way in which they put people together. And the most common form of that is a condition known as achondroplasia,
okay.
which accounts for 80%. That's what Leah has, and that's about 80% of people that are particularly small.
Now, how do those genetics play out? So, how do I know if I'm carrying the gene? Is it a male or female gene? Is it a generational gene? How does it play out?
It's one of the general genes that's important in building our body's building blocks, the cement of the body and the bones particularly. In achondroplasia, it's the kind of situation where you have one copy of the gene that's altered and one that is perfectly functional. But in most people, it's a new change. So parents normally are of normal size, and they have an unexpected child that is smaller than they expect them to be. Yeah. And that's what we call a new mutation. So it's a change that's occurred just in this little person, but once a person has it, they have a 50-50 chance of passing it on. So people that are particularly small with this particular situation may have children that are of normal size, they may have children that are substantially smaller. So
out of fear of myself being ignorant in this scenario, I mean, I've heard you use the word little people, I've heard you use dwarfism, and I've heard you use the technical term as well. I mean, a lot of South Africans, and I myself, also struggle sometimes to know what words to use for these particular conditions. What are some of the PC, and what do we say at the moment is the right way to refer to somebody who's got dwarfism?
I think you know, terms come and go. I think the term midget is considered completely unacceptable and very pejorative, and people don't enjoy that term at all. Little people has become widely used from the Little People's Association of America. It became extremely popular, a very large group, and I think that's really drifting into South Africa as a very comfortable term, the little people. Sometimes in America particularly it's referred to as LP, as a little person. The term dwarfism also has gone through its phases where it's offended people, but by and large I think the community generally have accepted dwarfism as a reasonable term to use, but I think we need to let the community make the call of what's important to them.
Let's talk a bit about the technical and sort of physiological conditions. So a child is born as a little person. What happens to their bodies? Are they healthy? Do they live normal long lives? What happens to the body?
Absolutely. So the body depends. It depends a lot on what the underlying cause is, because there are more than 200 different genetic disorders that can produce a small person. But typically it influences growth to one or other extent, and the bones tend to be the most significantly affected. There are some other implications depending on the particular condition, but in the condition that Leah has, achondroplasia, it's particularly related to the bones and the way in which bones and joints influence the body. The rest of the body grows normally, the brain is normal, the heart is normal, all the other organs are normal.
Okay. Now, one of the things that I'm always fascinated by is culture and the way that culture plays a role in conditions like, you know, skin conditions, on things like dwarfism, on sexuality, etc. What has been the cultural response to something like this? Have we seen, you know, a sense of you push somebody out of the society based on this condition? Has it got like stigmas associated with it?
Yeah, I think there really are significant stigmas associated with most things that make us different. I mean, we don't accept difference well as a community generally, but in particular, you know, we all live by stories. We love stories, and often small people are depicted as being evil, possibly being cursed, and those myths that persist into today sometimes do lead to people being unfairly treated, badly treated, being shunned, sometimes being locked away and not shown to the society. So it is a real concern for us.
So what we do learn, Doctor, is that obviously with all these stories that are coming up in the world, in our fictional stories, that we can always feel like there's a lot of obstacles to overcome, and when a parent and a child do manage to overcome that, beautiful things can happen because you start to show the world a new narrative and a new story. I think that's part of the chat we're having on the show today. So thank you so much for chatting to us. And speaking of that unconventional story of love, Leah now joins us on the couch.
So unconditional love is the most powerful emotion there is, and our next story is a testament to that. Charmaine K is the mother to a beautiful young daughter named Leah, who was born with achondroplasia, or dwarfism as it is more commonly known, and through her experience as a mother, she's taken it upon herself to raise awareness about the condition and has started her own mommy blog called Raising Leah. Welcome to The Loft.
Thanks for having me.
Lovely to have you with us.
Thanks for the opportunity.
Yeah, it's an absolute pleasure. So there you were at the doctor's rooms for a routine checkup, and then there's some alarm bells that ring because the doctor says you might have to see an abnormality specialist.
Yes.
How did you feel at this point?
Well, obviously the first thing that hits you is fear.
Yeah.
So there was a waiting period, like a 2-week waiting period before we had to see that. So that was a very dark period because you don't really know what's going on. But when I went to the abnormality specialist and they did the scans, it was a very... At that time, because you don't know what's really happening, and because the doctor can't conclusively say, and it's just saying there is something wrong, it's a very dark, fearful situation. So it was a very disconnected time for me. I was fearing the worst, but also hoping that there was nothing, or that it was a mistake.
Yeah.
So going through that process was a real scary situation.
Yeah. And then Leah's born, and it was only a short while later that there was conclusive evidence that she had achondroplasia.
Achondroplasia, yes.
So at this stage, I mean, I'm a mom. I could totally relate to that feeling of, you say you went through mourning.
Yes.
And the expectations that you had
That's
of
it.
the kind of child you were having and the kind of mother you wanted to be. I mean, what went through your mind in terms of just that disparity between these two worlds?
It's quite significant that I call it mourning because, you know, people normally associate it with death.
Yeah.
But mourning, for me, was the best way to describe how I felt. So it was just this period of all those expectations, because you don't really know what's happening and you don't have this conclusive diagnosis, you feel that those expectations are lost.
Yeah.
And you feel, and because of the fear of the newness, you actually feel that your child might not reach the goals that you had intended for her.
Aww.
But, yeah, you know, as time went on and as we got to know more about the condition, that sort of changed. So things started changing and more positivity came into effect. And that's when I actually started the blog.
Yeah.
So I started raising Leah when she was just a little baby. So it's 2006 that I started it. And that became my outlet. I needed this place to be myself and just let it out. Because everybody is sort of telling you that it's okay, you should be strong, you should be the strong mom. Mom shouldn't be the, you know, don't show emotion. But I needed that outlet. And I started this blog and started writing stories about how I felt and how I was dealing with Leah as she was growing up at that time.
Yeah. Wow, okay, so I think this is a good time for us to meet Leah. And while Leah makes her way in, just a quick question about how, I mean, I as a mom, all I want to do is protect my boys. What more when you feel like the world is going to be asking so many difficult questions of your child?
That's the toughest. Yeah. Because you know society and you know how things are and you know that there's a physical difference. So it's very hard when you are dealing with public and you're walking in a public space and people are staring. It does break your heart. Yeah. But eventually you do have a change of heart. I realized I needed to have the change in me.
Absolutely, I can
because
imagine,
if Leah's looking at me and looking at my emotion and how I'm dealing with it, that's what she's going to learn from me. And I decided to look at things in a little bit more of a positive light, because a lot of the time people are not staring.
Hey, say hi, Leah. How are you?
I'm good, thank you.
Well, welcome to Afternoon Express. Thank you for joining us today. Yeah. So you go to a really cool school where you have a great support system and your friends are very protective of you. Tell us about your school and why you love it.
I love it because my friends, they help me carry my bag to school. And they always when somebody stares at me, they say, there's no reason to stare, you can ask what her name is. And
wow. And so recently you encountered something at school that you responded to in a way we really loved. And I think every adult should hear the story because some adults still struggle with these kind of issues. And I think that they'd be really inspired by your story. Please tell us that story.
Okay, so one boy, he said to his one friend, he said, don't you know she's clearly a midget? And then I turned around and I said, excuse me? And then he said, what? And then he said, so I said, there's no reason for calling me a midget. You can call me a little person and you can ask my name.
Wow, and what was his reaction?
He was just totally shocked.
That is so incredible. I mean, I think it's such a great lesson for when you have young kids and you talk to them about bullying or you talk to them about standing up for themselves. And that's a really inspiring story. And we've got something to show our viewers regarding this. Check this out.
They ask me all the time, why was I born like this? Then I said to them, I was just born like this. I'm a little person. And then one girl said, little Robin came to our class and she said, the first time, and she said, are you a midget? And I said, no. Didn't you know I'm a little person? And she said, no. Then I said to her, I'm famous. Then she said, I'm lying. Then I said, yes, I am famous.
You are so cool. So apparently you're a great swimmer. You love swimming and you love fashion and you also make your own slime.
Yeah.
So my 8-year-old son loves making slime. He watches YouTube videos of making slime all day. And he actually wants to start a slime making company and he wants me to fund it. So maybe you guys should meet and make slime together. What's your favorite type of slime to make?
I like making neon colors and fluffy
The neon
slime.
colors, they're super cool. Yeah, I also love slime, but I hate it when they bring it to bed with them. Because then it gets over everything.
Yeah.
So, because you're such a special person, and you are one of the most inspiring young women that I've ever met, we brought you a little gift.
Hey.
Thanks so much.
Absolutely. Would you like to open it? We found out, a little bird told us about some of your favorite things, so we collected a few of your favorite things in there.
We wonder what this is.
Wonder what it is. Do you love opening presents?
Yeah.
Yeah.
There we go.
Woo! And we also heard you love science experiments and you love reading.
And how much do you love reading?
I love reading. Judy Moody books are my favorite.
Oh, yeah? Yeah, I love Judy Moody. I also love Judy Moody. But thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Yeah,
Thank you.
So it's time to get into that Valentine's spirit. On Monday, we had a presenter pickup line challenge and asked you to vote for your favorite lines. And after the break, we found out which afternoon presenter you thought had the best game. We'll be right back.
Get a taste of the smooth island life and win big with Tropica Island of Treasure Maldives. Buy a Tropica, follow the entry details on the pack, and you could win daily airtime prizes, American Tourista luggage for your next adventure, vouchers from loot.co.za to shop the hot daily deals online, and the grand prize of a Kia Picanto. For competition T's and C's, visit tropica.co.za. And don't forget to watch Tropica Island of Treasure Maldives every Monday at 7:30 p.m. on SABC3.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express, and if you didn't catch the show on Monday, you've been missing out. We're giving away this beautiful algae washer dry combo. To enter, all you need to do is visit the Afternoon Express Facebook page and comment on the competition post by letting us know your favorite feature of this innovative washing machine. The competition ends next Tuesday on the 20th of February, so get your entries in and we'll be announcing the lucky winner live right here next Friday.
Clover fresh milk is way better. Made with love by Clover.
So you know it's Valentine's Day and we are certainly feeling the love today. So thanks for so much for all the tweets and Facebook messages. We really are digging seeing them. And Monday we ran a very cool Clover Fresher is Best pickup line challenge with myself and Clem. And we got the viewers, you at home, to vote on our social media who they thought had the freshest pickup lines. Well, the votes are finally in and the presenter with the freshest lines is me. So, but it's just between Clem and I. Can I tell you what my line was? And tell me if it was terrible.
What was your line? I know it was terrible, but I'm here for it. Tell me what it was.
It went, girl, if you were words on a page, you'd be fine print.
Wow.
Hey? Clem's one
What was Clem's?
Look at the shirt.
Yeah.
It's boyfriend material. Hey? No? No.
Where's the wine? We need some wine with this cheese.
It's only going to get worse because we said that we were going to reveal who you thought, obviously, who we thought had the best different comments as well. And you sent through a whole bunch on our Facebook page, some of your great original pickup lines. So let's take a look at a few of the pickup lines that we thought were the freshest, okay? The ones that came through on Facebook were hilarious. We got one that said, roses are red, tomatoes are redder. I think we both know I like you way better.
Oh,
should we drink to that one?
Wow.
Let's just take a sip.
I mean, how much game is on Facebook right now?
Every time a cheesy comment comes out, we can take a drink. How about that? Next one that came through was, do you mind if I walk you home? My mother always told me to follow my dreams.
This is so painful.
I think it's great.
I love our viewers, but guys, jeez.
Another one came through and says, you must be so tired because you've been running around my mind all day. That's an old one. We've seen that one before, but it's a good comment though. I liked it.
Yeah.
The last one that I thought was hilarious, which is one I've never heard of before. And I must get my phone out for this one because it's great. It says, please wouldn't you just enter the directions to your heart on my GPS?
Oh. Guys, you're killing me. Killing me with these. But you know what's so crazy about pickup lines is that nobody has actually ever used them. I mean, well, you know, I don't know, have you?
Well, maybe that's why I'm single.
That's why you're single.
I have been using them. That's a problem.
I think they're just there as jokes. Nobody ever... So the thing is with social media now becoming so huge and people sliding into people's DMs, I've heard some more interesting pickup lines online. And one I saw... once on that somebody shared on Twitter is this guy starts sending this girl pictures of furniture to her DMs, and then she's like, excuse me, what's going on? Why are you sending me these pictures of furniture? And then he goes, it's me moving into your DMs.
Oh, lol. I thought it would be something like me preparing our future home together, you know, because we love each other. Oh my gosh. So thanks so much for all the love and all the messages on our Facebook page. It was lots of fun to play around with. Definitely some of the freshest pickup lines we've seen. Go catch the rest of them on our Facebook page. It's Afternoon Express.
Absolutely. Coming up after the break, we share an exotic yet simple dish that you can make for your significant other this Valentine's Day. So that's sure to earn you some brownie points. Plus, we've got that live performance coming up from Niniola.
Clover fresh milk is way better. Made with love by Clover.
Express yourself.
Football on the air, don't grab all the kitty. She telescope me, don't warm or kitty. Don't you ever fall, don't blame me, don't need it. No power did I let you come to me with it. Oh, Nikin Latin, oh, Nima Latin, oh, Nikin Dojo me, oh, Loma Lapa, oh, Nikin Latin, oh, Nima Latin, oh, Nikin Dojo me. Olo Macamba, oh Maradona, oh Maradona, Maradona me, oh Maradona, oh Maradona, Maradona me, Maradona. Don't be wicked, die for you. If I die for you, all is in vain. We can die for you. If I die for you, all is in vain. Kini mo share for it. Will I satisfy you? All my friends, you are the best. Will I satisfy you? Oh, Nikin Latan, oh, Nimalatan, oh, Nikin Dojo, oh, Loma Lapa, oh. Oh, Loma Kampa, oh, Maradona, oh, Maradona, the Maradona me, oh, Maradona.
Welcome back to Afternoon Express. We're live on SABC3 and it's almost time to wrap up the show, which means that you need to get to your Valentine's dinner as soon as possible. And instead of showing her some of this mussel, we're going to show you some real mussels on the show today. Tame's making a delicious spicy mussel. And you know that you've chosen this dish really well.
Okay, tell me about it.
It's because today is also like the first time that Valentine's Day that I've ever known lines up with Ash Wednesday.
All right.
And it's a day of fasting and everyone's breaking the fast and you can't have meat. So fish is perfect.
Hey, I didn't plan that one, but
I'm going to break my fast on this. This is amazing.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about what I got going on in the pan right now. Got some garlic, got some ginger, amazing aromatics. I'm gonna hit it with some green curry paste, green Thai curry paste.
Oh, yum.
I think it really works well with seafood. So
I
well.
love that you've combined all that flavor together in the pan already, because the fragrance and the aromatics that are coming off this is phenomenal.
Exactly. You're trying to be enticing right now, right?
Yes.
You're trying to create a dish.
She's not going to love you, so better love the food. You know what I mean?
Oh, you know what? Yeah. And also, if you're trying to get to know your neighbors, make this, open the windows. It's going to waft through. They're going to come knocking. Hey, instant Valentine, okay? But let's be, like, honestly now. I've got some chili in here. Chili actually awakens your senses.
Totally.
So true. You
Awakens your
actually
sinuses.
hear better, see better, smell better, taste better. True story. So we're going to use that in our dish today. Going in.
I don't want to know what else it does better. Moving on.
Moving on. So let's talk about, I'm putting you on to the pan, okay? Dad,
Cool.
if it burns.
Oh, no, but I don't want to be in charge of that.
Okay, cool. Let me help you out. Let's add
got
some.
it.
Let's add some. Okay, you're fine.
Got it,
I
got
trust
it,
you.
got it.
Watermelon, did you know it dilates your blood vessels?
No, I did not know
Gets the blood
that.
flowing really, amazing. I didn't know that. Avo, high in vitamin E, which keeps you nice and young and vigorous.
Lovely, and it's also very good for those good fats.
Is chocolate. I mean, come on, we know this. Chocolate, high in antioxidants. It's every romantic's favorite. Figs. Did you know a symbol of
And they're so in
fertility?
season at the moment. If you're a big fig fan, you'll know that they've officially entered into season, which is awesome.
Cool. Some oyster sauce went in there, some brown sugar going in.
This also feels like a last-minute kind of recipe you can do just quickly. You can go buy the ingredients quickly right now and make it at home. And if you want to do that, perhaps you haven't made your Valentine's dinner plans just yet, you SMS the keyword EAT 33650. It'll cost you $150. Don't worry, it's the best price you'll ever pay to make sure a delicious recipe for your Valentine. And obviously the T's and C's do apply. It'll come straight to your mobile device. Go buy these ingredients and your Valentine's dinner sorted.
Okay, ready for this?
Yes.
Ready, cool.
What is that?
Lemongrass, okay? You gotta bash it, get it nice and fragrant, and then you gotta chop it up. You can do that, I mean...
That's how it works?
Yeah, absolutely, you gotta bruise it.
So violent.
That's going in. Then coconut milk. Going in.
Oh, yummy.
Yeah, that's gonna become nice and creamy, aromatic at the same time. Ooh, I've got
And now, just if you guys are just tuning into the show, we're not making a pasta sauce or anything here, so if you're worried about carbs or messiness, we're making the most delectable mussels. They're spicy, delicious, filled with flavor, and obviously now he's making a creamy sauce to go with them.
Not only are we not adding cream, we're not even adding any water. That's coconut milk. Hey, we're saving water. So this is my mussel stock. I literally add a little bit of oil to the pan, fried my mussels. They opened up as you would when you normally steam it. That's all the moisture that came out of the mussels.
Delicious.
Don't waste that. That's amazing.
That's all the flavor right in there.
That's all the flavor right there.
Oh, yummy.
Going in. Smells amazing, am I right?
So if I were to describe what this smells like, it smells like a delicious green curry, but it's got all the delicious seafood flavors that you'd expect from it, and that lemongrass, oh, that adds so much of a flavor to that. That's brilliant.
Some beautiful fresh mussels.
Cool, those are the ones you've steamed down.
Absolutely.
And then the sauce will cook down.
And here's the trick, guys. If you're cooking mussels, as soon as they open, they're done. So there's no rule about cooking them for 10 minutes or 5 minutes. As soon as they open...
When they're open, they're done. They'll tell you when they're finished. How nice is that? It's the first time food's ever told you that it's ready to rock and roll. And just like that, your Valentine's Day dinner done and dusted. Eat 33650, $1.50. Your free SMSs don't apply. So it's about time for us to get into a live performance on the show. And I know you've been waiting for this time, this moment. Niola's with us in the loft today. She's got a voice from heaven. And oh my gosh, does she know how to make South Africans dance? So Clem, thanks for dinner. Now let's dance.
So we've had an inspiring Valentine's edition of Afternoon Express today, and here to end it off in style is Nigerian Afro House songstress Niniola with her smash hit Maradona. Take it away.
Thank you.
She football on the air. Body kill it. She telescope me, yeah. Don't go on my kill. Don't you ever fall. Don't blame me, don't need it. Don't power did I let you satisfy you. All my friends, you are the best. Will I satisfy you? Oh, Nikin Lata, oh, ni Malata, oh, Nikin Dojumi, oh, lo Malapa, oh, Nikin Lata, oh, ni Malata, oh, Nikin Dojumi, oh, lo Malapa, oh, Maradona, oh, Maradona, oh, no, Maradona, oh, Maradona, oh, Maradona, oh, Maradona, Maradona, me, oh, Maradona, ay, oh, Maradona, ay, Maradona, me, oh, Maradona, oh, Maradona, Maradona, come on. Come on. Maradona, don't you know that? Hey, baby, come here, join me. Hey, yeah, boy. Woo!
So Leah said she could dance. She said you would try.
Oh,
Can we bring that beat back just for a second? There we go.
Okay, so you want to...
It's a Wednesday. Why can't we?
And then you go down. Oh, yes. Good girl. And back up. And you do this. And then. Football on the air. Don't grab on the
Obviously, Wednesdays, we wrap up Afternoon Express. Matthew Carterpool and the Carters, thank you so much. Woo. I feel like I could just keep dancing like this my whole time. Thank you so much. Congratulations on the new album. We cannot wait to see more music from you. And to you, South Africa, we love you. If you don't have a Valentine's Day today, we are officially your Valentine and we love you. If you are planning to do something tonight for your Valentine's Day, enjoy it. Have the best time ever. From Afternoon Express and the rest of the team behind the scenes, we'd like to say thank you so much for joining the live show today. We'll see you again tomorrow. Yes, indeed. So we'll see you same time, same place tomorrow, right here on SABC3. Bring that beat back.
Love ya.
Don't be wicked. Die for you. If I die for you, all is in vain. Wicked. Die for you. If I die for you, all is in vain. Kini mo ṣe fún ẹ? Will I satisfy you? All my friends, you are the best. Will I satisfy you?
Afternoon Express, made with love by Clover.
Another feel-good production.